Moonlighter is a game where you adventure to find loot to sell in your shop. During the days, you sell items to customers who enter your shop and adjust the prices based on their reactions. You can flood the market and lower prices of objects when they become high in supply. An economy feature that this game shares with Dragon Quest VIII for PS2. You're required to find the true value of the items you sell in your shop in order to get the most profit and buy shop and town upgrades, such as a weaponsmith or enchanter, or a rival shop for you to check your prices against. You can even hire a shop assistant who will sell items for you during the day, freeing up more time for you to adventure. During the nights, you adventure through dungeons, defeating enemies, and collecting loot. There are 4 dungeons, each with their unique enemies and bosses. The dungeons range from forest to desert to a technologically advanced sci-fi future. You enter the dungeons through portals and are required to finish one before moving on to the next. Each time you enter a dungeon, the layout is randomized, but the loot and enemies are consistent. There are a variety of weapons you can use depending on your playstyle, including spears, swords, bows and arrows. The gameplay loop between adventuring and selling feed into each other. As you find new items in the dungeon, you want to sell them in the shop and find their true value. And with your profits, you can buy items and upgrades that make adventuring easier. This gameplay loop is similar to that of XCOM, where the base building and combat sections feed into each other. Where XCOM is concerned with preparation and defense, Moonlighter's theme is exploration and profit. Moonlighter is the kind of game you can play for hours without realizing it, bouncing between the day and night cycles. There is a balancing act of going deeper into the dungeons to find more loot without allowing yourself to be defeated, losing the items that you gain during the run. Similarly, you must strike a balance with your prices to keep your customers happy and returning each day. In both cases, you have to be careful not to let your greed get the best of you. I appreciate the way that Moonlighter frames the adventuring as not the main point of the game. This gives you heightened incentive during the gameplay aside from just dungeon crawling. Upgrading and running your shop is the ultimate goal. As you journey through the 4 dungeons, the enemies become more dangerous, but the items you find also become more valuable. This sense of progression, along with the increasing size of your shop and the revival of the town, give tangible markers of your progress through the game. Another marker is your returning customers and their satisfaction. If they are unhappy with your prices, you won't see them return. However, you'll start to recognize the same faces flooding in each day to purchase your wares. Moonlighter is a relatively short game, and it can be completed in 10 or 15 hours. Despite that, I think it has real lasting appeal. Something as simple as using a different weapon set would make the game a fresh experience. And starting with the small dusty shop and becoming the real center of the town is a satisfying goal. The animations and visuals are clean and polished, and they work well to support the game. The settings and enemies of each of the dungeons are well differentiated from each other, and it makes them feel unique and varied. Finally, the music and sound design is high quality and does well to set the atmosphere and increase the immersion of the game. Overall, I find Moonlighter to be a very enjoyable game, and I recommend playing it if you want to have some fun. Thanks for listening.